Späti. It's me, Ciaran. I'm joined by Nick.
Hey!
And as you probably already heard, we're here with Sean from the Antifada. Say hello,
Hey,
Sean.
what's up? Happy to be back to the bodega.
Yeah.
I just have to, put my foot down. As someone living in Germany, I cannot stand being on a show with someone whose show is also called the Antifada. I've been told that then the German government says I'm not supposed to think that this is cool. So I am, as a good anti-Deutsch, I am putting my foot down. And
Oh, it's dire here, Sean. It's dire.
I can only imagine. I'm interested in hearing much more about that. I will point out that 5-6 years ago when we came up with the name Antifada, it was mostly to make the most annoying people and stupid people in the world angry. And it turns out it worked. Not just in America, but for the German authorities too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's also very interesting is that then even, the German government's official position is, pretty much anti-Deutsch without the, anti-Deutsch part. It's just,
they don't believe in the abolishment of all states bar Israel.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, if you push anyone in the government to that, gun to their head, they'd be like, which state's disappearing first, Germany or Israel? And
I'm pretty sure they did their damnedest to try to make Greece not exist anymore.
Yeah, I know. Well, see, that's the thing.
Antifada praxis.
That's the thing, is that then,
They're fucking anti-Deutsch praxis.
the anti-Deutsch praxis is what if Greece becomes part of Germany and then we just
we're destroying. We're getting started by destroying these states: Italy, Greece, Portugal, Spain, Ireland. We have to start
pigs.
somewhere.
Yeah, that's right, baby. And then we can talk about Germany.
Oh man, they'd forget about us, Ireland.
Maybe it's the whole thing of with under when Stalin was trying to do his justification of why the state's bureaucracy was getting so big. It's no, it has to get really big before it disappears.
Yeah.
Maybe Germany has to get really big before.
My understanding is, at least in economic terms, you guys are shrinking by the day. So it's not working either.
It's not going great. Turns out the entire economy was running on cheap Russian gas.
Surprise.
And we thought would last forever.
Wandel durch Handel? Is that the correct term for it?
Yeah, Wandel durch Handel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that didn't work out so good. Huh?
No, it did not. But speaking of money, we
love money here on this podcast.
We love money on this podcast.
What's not to love?
It comes in all sorts of colors here. Nigel Farage, a man...
Oh, he's still around?
Right. Recently claimed that his bank account was shut down because of political reasons, because he's a political threat to the UK.
Okay, whatever.
So let that sit in your mind.
The damage is done, man. What more can that fucking guy do?
But it's just okay, so maybe I'm giving away the goat. Maybe people have already seen the news. This is a lie. But,
Nigel Farage low-key just listening to Lil Uzi Vert's Money Longer being yeah, that's my life.
But then he did kind of convince some people. He convinced some people on the left that this was true. And there were some people humming and hawing being oh, political suppression, bank account, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. There are some, I'm
sure it's happened, but UKIP wasn't Golden Dawn. They didn't have paramilitary units in the street.
But Nigel Farage wishes that it was Golden Dawn.
Yeah, if he had the ability to recreate 1981 National Front, I think he would have. I think the scope of their populism wasn't such that they could create a militia yet. Are the English people really even capable of militia activity these days? I don't think they are, man.
No, I mean, since can you really?
The average UKIP member did do horrible things in Northern Ireland,
but that was
true. Yeah,
but they're
old now.
But that wasn't self-organized though.
Yeah, that was literally the military.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if Nigel Farage really wanted to fucking create a National Front or a Golden Dawn, his natural constituency would be the Prots in Northern Ireland, right? You get the Ulster Volunteer Force or whatever, and bring them to London and start cracking heads.
So the ones that the members of the UVF who haven't tried to become statesmen are all
drug dealers.
They're drug dealers and gun running and like posting TikToks where they have like a remix of Eiffel 65's Blue where the chorus is like I'm British till I die or whatever.
Oh, God,
Just like
man,
real cringe, like glowing eye compilations of Ian Paisley.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I mean,
like
I'm not
the Ron DeSantis one that came out about LGBT, but it's fucking Ian Paisley and it's about Catholics.
There's lots of like Truth Social pictures pointing to Jerry Adams as like Adam's apple being like, where is he? He's secretly a woman. All right, so I can now reveal the real reason of why his bank account got shut down. So like the bank,
child porn.
the bank account in question is a Coots bank account. Do either of you know Coots? This is like the super exclusive bank. For example, to have a Coots bank account, you have to have either £2 million in the account, £3 million in the account, or you have to give them an investment of £1 million. And
it sounds like a bad idea in general right now with just inflate. Why would I want to have just that much money just sitting? I mean, all right, yeah.
There's a columnist for The Telegraph in the UK who's from the family who started this bank. And she's like, at some point, their family added the name Money to their name. So her name is like Joan Money Coots.
Joan Money Coots.
What's some fucking like Mr. Krabs ass like bullshit is this?
I once went to the gravesite of somebody named Business Coin.
Hell yes.
In New Orleans, you can go at one of those beautiful graveyards they have. There was somebody who changed their name to Business Coin.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like a Russian oligarch or whatever that you like ended up in. Like
it was just a Cajun. I don't know.
It's Cyrillic business coin.
Well, yeah, because that became the word for business. So the word for businessman in Russian is businessman.
Yeah,
and the word for a female or a woman who is a businesswoman is not business женщина or business whatever. It is literally businessmanka.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which rocks so fucking hard because they're just like, well, screw it. They were like, capitalism, baby. We're embracing it, but not even going to bother with like trying to like put that word or like,
business woman. What are you, woke? We're not doing that.
It's just, there's only two genders. It's man and mianka.
So this Coots family, they're Coots Money Coots. They have their own exclusive bank. All right,
my money, real Coots.
Yeah, it's like I never heard of it until I moved to the UK.
It's really funny in the sense that you can convince rich people into like the dumbest financial decisions if you just tell them it's exclusive.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
This is definitely Nigel Farage's case because as we opened this conversation with you forgetting this guy existed,
yeah, true.
He's running out of money. And that's
no shit. He's running out of money. Of course, he has all of his money in a Coots bank account while there's like inflation fucking going on.
He's fucking with Coots coin over here.
Yeah, Coots coin.
Yeah, just straight to the moon, Coots coin.
He spent all his money on like trying to create a bored ape that's just like a Union Jack guy smoking an FAG.
Yeah. But it's random every time, so he just kept buying apes until it came out the way he wanted.
Yeah.
He blew it all on slurp juice.
My apes, they're mutating. God damn it. I forgot about all that stuff.
So he's actually losing money, though.
Yeah, and
That's great. Yeah, good.
He was offered like a regular like pleb account at like NatWest,
He's
which
like,
is
no, not my fucking Coots coin.
Here's an idea. Why doesn't he get a regular fucking job like the rest of us?
No. So you see, that's what we're going to call option 2, because option 1 is immediately go to the press, lie about why your bank account is being shut down, and then have everyone believe you for some reason.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not going to ask it. The UK is just is an island of sadness and despair. That sure, fine.
Well, now that like free speech is a thing, I think everybody, or like people who consider themselves to have counter-systemic politics, let's say, are really ready to like jump on the dissent and repression sort of theme. Like so much of the left, the progressive left, and even the Marxist left is like skirting over into like spiked online territory when it comes to.
I mean, that's where Spiked Online kind of came from,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Living Marxism and stuff.
Yeah,
but it
living
was-
Marxism to spiked online pipeline is real.
Yeah, I mean, there is like it just kind of is just that just truth always within the left, or that then you're gonna have that like stupid just like I will take anything as counter, not counter, not counter, but like like the best example is what's the what's his name, Blumenthal's website and whatnot, Gray Zone.
Oh,
whatever.
Gray Zone, yeah.
Yeah, like that's like the most just like everything's an op. Everyone's trying out to get me. It's like, bro, like one, you guys' journalism is like fucking hack as shit half the time. It's also like you're doing Google searches and pretending that you're like have like a CIA as like you're doing like espionage and whatnot, where it's like all your information I can find on a basic Google search. And two, like they'll go and like defend like the most like insane right wing freaks because like, oh, they're being oppressed. It's like, no, like they're not. And if they are, I don't kind of care. Like, I don't care. If Nigel Farage were to have all his money confiscated by the British government, my reaction would be like, damn, they're actually doing anti-fascism. Great. I don't care.
Mine would be a simple LOL.
Yeah, exactly. I don't, not everything. I mean, yes, I can acknowledge the sense that then when people I don't like, bad things happen to them, I'm going to be happy about it, even if it's people that I don't like who are doing it. I don't care.
Yeah.
There's real principles at stake, and people are right to defend in principle free speech, and like a case by case basis. Yeah, like if we have the ability to do something about it, we should do it. But like the left as an organized force isn't going to stop the UK government, the US government, the German government from stopping crushing dissenting speech or whatever. So it turns into this weird, like masturbatory sort of, I guess, virtue signaling, right? Where people are like, oh, we have to fight for the rights of Nigel Farage or else they're going to come for our rights. It's like, they're
I'm
coming
good
for our rights anyway.
Like they're already, exactly. Whatever they're doing to him, they've already done to the left, like, ages ago or whatever. So it's like, well.
Womp
Womp.
womp womp indeed. So we have some local German Berlin news though.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Give it to me.
Which is we're not allowed to have money anymore.
No. Hey,
yes.
do you like nice things like having trash picked up?
A place for homeless people to sleep.
Yeah. Do you like having a Christmas market?
Oh, that's gone too.
Yeah, that's gone too.
They got rid of the Christmas
You
market?
guys have abolished the value form. You really did it.
Yeah.
I didn't think it happened in Berlin first.
So the thing is that then Berlin had a re-election.
A weird coup election.
Literally, yeah. I will take the true position in that this was a CDU coup.
Yeah.
So because
Gray
of
Zone style.
yeah, exactly. The CDU's after me. They're CDU
It was like color
agents.
revolution. This was your Maidan Square.
There are CDU agents faxing me mean things. They're on to me. When was the last Berlin election? Was during the federal election, so 2019.
2021. 2021 was the Superwahl.
Yeah. So Superwahl, yeah.
Superwahl, yeah.
And
You vote on everything.
the local Berlin government was more or less reelected into a sense of a red-green coalition with our lovely mayor, Franziska Giffey, who should not be anywhere near power.
No.
Turned out the sense that there was a bunch of election irregularities that were hilariously mostly only in like CDU areas and whatnot. Also during this election too, for our listeners, this is when the Deutsche Wohnen und Co. enteignen vote came through.
Seize all the landlords' properties.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah, we heard of that over here in America.
Yeah. So that was passed with like 56%.
Close to 60%.
Yeah. So the election got redone for just the local government. And miraculously, although there were still just as many election irregularities as there was last time in the exact same areas, the CDU won and didn't complain about it because, why would you do that? Also, turnout was much lower, this and that, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and now we have the it should be legal to fuck my car government.
So the CDU then has taken on a they've been on a war path, if anything, because they know that they're going to be voted out very quickly. Ted on Spaßbremse did like a very good synopsis about this very shortly on their newest episode. I don't know if it's out yet. I had to edit it, but it was very good, which is why it reminded me of this. And the current government's kind of just like doing in it to win it. We're gonna fuck up everything as quick as we can. Bike lanes, fuck those. Why would you want those? Why would you want to ride your bike when you could ride your fucking SUV down the most miserable roads in Germany? They're opening up Friedrichstraße last week, or wait, is it this?
Yeah,
it was.
For context, Sean, they pedestrianized a central street in this city, and then like every conservative columnist and party member acted like it was their personal 9/11.
Oh, I see.
It is a street that you shouldn't drive down because it is miserable, and
it's faster to take every other form of public
it is
transport.
literally you can walk faster than the cars going past.
So it's like a traffic zone, basically.
It is, yeah. It is a waste of time. And the thing that's so funny with that one is that then the reason why it got turned originally back into a pedestrian zone was because there was a woman who owned like a wine shop who just complained.
Yeah.
And then they were like, she then did a complaint to the local government, and then it went up high enough in the courts. They're like, oh, well, yeah, actually, this is illegal because this is car country, baby.
Yeah.
You know?
We make all the cars. You have to honor them.
All this bad shit's happening. And the CDU is like, well, you know who really fucking sucks? It's this heavily, migrant area of Berlin, Neukölln, that then doesn't vote in our favor. So we're just going to do the most brutal austerity to ourselves. And again, parks not going to be cleaned. Trash pickup's not going to happen. The best Christmas market in town, the one in Rixdorf, is going away for 2 years.
The Christmas market is so weird to me because, like, the
CDU are doing
Christian
It
Democrats.
says Christian right in it.
Yeah,
We should be all about the Christmas.
yeah, they're doing they're doing a Christian false flag operation. On the war
Christian
on
Democrats,
Christmas.
increasingly less Christian and Democratic.
Yeah, so that is the I knew, we all kind of knew that this government was going to be really shit because, I mean, the very first thing that they did was a very illegal consultation with Microsoft and the landlord lobby, right? When they, before they even, made their coalitions, they met with representatives from those two things to the point that every person in Microsoft who met with them apparently got fired.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
Bill Gates purged them.
Yeah. Good. Because they thought that they were going to use Microsoft, a country that makes no actual physical things for cables, this and that things that you would need to digitize your economy.
Yeah.
They thought this government, the CDU, remember the median age of the CDU voters 67, thought that it would be good to bring Microsoft on to then digitize your economy.
That's the only tech company they remember.
Yeah, which then you literally have Telecom in Köln, which is a company that literally makes everything to then do it. They're like, fuck that. We gotta be big brain Berlin nonsense, whatever.
Germans finally got the South Park movie where they shoot Bill Gates point blank, and they're like, we should get him to make the internet go
exactly.
fast.
Yeah,
I was reading. There was in our local paper, which is called the New York Times. There was a article about the Mittelstand. There was an article about these medium and small size family companies, and how the war and all the sanctions or whatever have really kicked their asses. So
Yeah.
I don't know too much about it, but it sounds like digitization is one of these things that Germany's really behind on, and all the paperwork still has to be done by hand and stuff.
Oh
like that.
yeah, it's I think Germany in terms of this is the thing is that then it's so foreign to me now living here for so long.
We're just used to the shitty internet.
Yeah, what's the new internet called? Not DSL.
Fiber optic cables.
Fiber optic cable.
Fiber optic, yeah.
8% of all of Germany is on that.
Wow.
Yeah. This is Europe's
That's
leading economy, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are in a weird way. You're like if steampunk was about the 80s or something.
So
you have this really
exactly.
strong manufacturing economy, but
Feel a fax.
everything's still by paper. It's like the movie Brazil or something.
Why do we need internet? It doesn't make the cars. I don't need that.
Yeah.
We spend all our internet money on widgets. and widget makers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so just wanted to give a little update with the the current government of literally from hell.
Yeah.
It's interesting because in the southern parts of the United States, there's also this statewide movement to undermine local, especially municipal democracy, such as it exists, because you have in a place like Texas all these quote unquote like blue cities in the larger red zone, and a lot of them pass like minimum wage ordinances and like labor ordinances and environmental ordinances. And there's this big move by like the states' rights people to eliminate municipal right to even do those things anymore. So it's an interesting dynamic, I guess, both here and over there.
Yeah,
where there's like these local elections where if things don't go like the center-right party's way, they like to come in and just.
Yeah, I mean, like the reason for the Neukölln austerity is something I just don't understand, because like it is one of these like. The thing that's so funny with the CDUs, with the current government, is that then if they just did like anything, they could actually probably win like re-election very easily. Because Berlin's notoriously a city that then's like, oh well, like every conservative just asshole will bitch about how, oh, Berlin doesn't run this and that and that. And then the CDU came in with like the easiest job on earth, which is that like every paper and which the majority of German media is conservative, coming in being like, you are given like a silver platter of you will be talked about nicely. And they're just going in and just literally doing every horrible thing that you could possibly imagine. Like the only thing that they have on their goal is that they want to finish this stupid highway that's not going to actually do anything, the A100, and they want to do more parking spaces, which is like, dude, you don't need, like, for fuck's sake, like Berlin's, for a European city, Berlin is a fine place to drive in. I don't drive, but it's like, it's not like, I mean, I just got back from Athens. Like, fuck off. Like, talk about a city that you could not navigate a car around in.
Oh no, we're getting like European wide reports of like, every city in Europe is going in the right direction in terms of like green infrastructure, improving trains, bike lanes, making bikes super accessible, blah blah blah. Except for notably Berlin.
Yeah,
now.
and it's like
It's like vandalism. It's like political vandalism they're up to right now. It's like spite, right? It seems like
because this is
spite.
This is the thing, because like the like narrative around. I've often compared it to the way that like a lot of America feels about New York is like how a lot of Germany feels about Berlin, because they fucking hate this city. Because
well, then make your cities better.
Yeah, well,
sorry, like the bar is quite low.
They hate this city because like one, it's a city that doesn't like has historically not really voted for the CDU, the default party. They kind of like vote for Die Linke, and like we're pretty much like, apart from like an East German state, we're like the only state that ever viewed Die Linke as a normal party, rather than like haram that you cannot touch. And then at the same time, they get like pissed off that, unlike New York, we don't make any money. In the same way, like all the money and capital is still kind of like in the West and the South. But then like the irony of all this is that like Berlin is historically a bankrupt city because it was the CDU, the last CDU government in the city that fucking through a weird banking public procurement scandal bankrupted the entire city. And that's just been completely memory like hold. And now everyone just thinks it's bankrupt because we had like the communists, not even communists, like Die Linke.
Because you had bike lanes.
Because we had bike lanes, because we had woke or whatever. We had nightclubs, some of which are Zionist. But like, but like, it's still a very strange. It's very a frustrating setup of like the party that bankrupted us last has come back saying like, oh, those other parties, they were the ones who bankrupted us. Anyway, we have the steering wheel now, so we're gonna have fun with this one. They're gonna burn it to the ground. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know what they say: go woke, go broke.
that's the CDU definitely. They do be saying that. The thing that's also just so funny with that too is that it's like the CDU also got a government then too being like, oh yeah, we're gonna be like really great for the landlord lobby, and then within like the last 2 months, the entire like Berlin's real estate market is so bad that it's going to probably send a like chain reaction to the rest of Europe of just crashing. Like prices have dropped like hundreds of percentages in terms of real estate speculation.
They're trying to be the landlord party, and if there's one thing I know landlords love, and that's when the trash isn't picked up by the municipal government.
Yeah.
No, it's bad because like Berlin had like the fastest growing rent of any city in Germany, and it was like pure speculation.
Yeah, and those rents have all crashed. Oh no, not rent, but real estate prices have crashed.
Yeah, the rents are still kind of going up because they're delayed.
No, the rents are also going down now too slowly.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Like there's all these like panic things if you read like Handelsblatt and whatnot, like the like German version of the Financial Times, being like, oh, like what do I do? It's like maybe you don't fucking speculate.
Yeah.
Did you have a similar Airbnb crash that we had? Or is Airbnb even legal in Berlin anymore?
It's regulated a lot more.
Yeah, Airbnb is regulated a lot more here. It was illegal for a while, and people were like doing black market stuff or whatever, and then Berlin realized that wasn't the best option.
Because I talked with Derek Varn on an episode that came out on our show last week, and there's crazy statistics out there, the amount that short-term rentals have distorted the market, not just in, longer-term rentals for people to live in, but also the housing market. It turns out that revenues are down like 50% in major cities for Airbnb all over the country. And it turns out that there's twice as many buildings, which are being used exclusively for Airbnb than there are houses available on the entire United States housing market. So the Airbnb crash, all this speculation of landlords buying up buildings in order to rent them out short term, is about to, like you said in Berlin, like ripple throughout the entire American economy too. So rent might be getting cheaper in like a couple of years or so. Woo.
Oh yeah, I can hold that. I got a letter today for a 7% increase in my rent, and I'm pissed off.
Is that legal in Berlin?
No,
Yeah,
it's
not legal here in New
5%
York.
is illegal.
No, because it's tied to inflation, and inflation's been fucking insane.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I mean, are you part of the
Oh, like the building
Define?
WhatsApp group is going insane because we all got the same letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very farcical because we hadn't got post boxes in our building for ages, and we've been complaining.
You know that you can probably get like money back for not having a post box if you're part of the Meetup.
We'll try that, for sure.
Yeah.
Because then we all opened our post boxes for the first time today, and in there is a letter saying your rent is going up.
Congratulations.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, moving on, we have to do an update on France.
Oh
because
yeah.
it's kicking off. First things first. Did you know France is falling apart because Snapchat and the Macron government has to stop Snapchat, and that will stop everyone
That's
rioting?
what's doing it, huh?
Apparently, definitely not systemic racism amongst the police.
No.
It's the puppy dog filter that makes you
It's
look
the
like a
fact
puppy
that
dog.
you can't take screenshots of people's risque photographs when they send them to you or something.
Risque, a French word.
There we go. Full circle.
So that's Dupont Messi was the like interior minister has been like the riots will stop if we just get rid of Snapchat.
Yeah. But they wanted to do like a blanket social media ban, don't they? Like that
Fuck
was
me. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, like
Did I see,
like,
this might have been like crazy right-wing disinformation, but did they shut the internet off for a little bit in France?
No, they
in
were
certain
actually
parts?
apparently they were trying to at least shut down like some social media sites and whatnot.
Because they claim that the riots are coordinating via things like Snapchat. And
Yeah,
stuff like
probably.
that.
I mean,
Probably are.
I mean,
Yeah.
like it's going to be like one of those cases of like some random account has to like, oh, let's all meet up here, and it's like a central square in a city that everyone was going to meet up
yeah,
at
exactly.
anyway.
It's, like, it's literally France, and there's shit going down. That square is going to be like just it's going to be popping.
annihilated. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, so we did in our last episode. We talked about like the origins of this riots. It's depressing. Let's not talk about that too much. What we're going to talk about is some more a vile character that has appeared in this, which is Jean Messier, who was interviewed by Euronews as a French activist because he set up a kind of like equivalent to like a GoFundMe type of thing.
Why do I feel that then if you're being interviewed by Euronews, you have to be just automatically a ghoul?
Yeah, because the audience of Euronews is just me. basically.
Yeah, it is you and then like 3 other freaks in Brussels,
A handful
and
of
me now too because I'm off of Twitter. So I do the Euronews. The Euronews daily check. But the thing that's so funny about Euronews is that it doesn't get updated very often.
No, it doesn't.
I'm looking at Euronews.com right now, and this is the first time I've ever seen it before or even heard of it. It's weird that it's allegedly a European news thing, but it's a .com at the end.
Yeah.
Based in America, I guess.
Oh no, .com's is cheaper.
.com's, yeah.
It's international. But like, yeah, Euronews, it's around. It provides a lot of translation stuff. It's pretty decent in that sense. But yeah, it's just me and a handful of dentist offices that are watching. Anyway, Jean Messia has raised €1 million for the cop who shot Nahel and his family, believing that he blames Nahel. He blames Nahel's family for what went down. He also blames Macron for abandoning the police. So
what like kind of fucking mental like gymnastics are you doing to the sense that you're blaming a kid for him and being unarmed and shot in the head?
You get a death sentence for driving without a license. It's just like in the United States.
Yeah. I mean, like the thing that's just so funny too of all this bullshit is that then the French will be the first people to tell you, oh no, we're not like Americans. But it's like when it comes to this shit, they are more American than any other fucks in all of Europe. Even the Germans, the most like policed, like self-policing people on earth, are not this insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know all the history of French policing. I know they got those crazy riot cops. What are they called? The
Bravem.
Yeah, those dudes are crazy. I was warned last time I was in France by them. They were out on the streets on like a Friday night throwing their weight around and shit. But like, not what's happening in France is somewhat specific to France. But like, what I've noticed is the weird American ways of processing these things are starting to spread elsewhere. Like, just the whole idea of doing a GoFundMe for a killer cop is so redolent of like a George Zimmerman or what was that little piece of shit that shot those 2 people during the George Floyd uprising
in Saskatchewan or something?
Rick and whatever his name was. It seems like Americanism. The worst parts of it are
Kyle
spreading
Rittenhouse?
everywhere. Kyle Rittenhouse,
yeah. So like, it's weird because it's kind of successful at the same time, but it's also at the same time like so on its face American. Yeah. That it's like it's kind of weird how it appeals to the far right or like its success being overstated because you have political parties in France that will like bemoan the fact that like lots of French teenagers now eat at McDonald's, right? Like an American chain. And at the same time will blame the problem on le wokism.
Right, yeah, they're like picking and choosing what part of the deranged like American cultural and political format they want to take on.
Exactly. Yeah, or like in Germany they'll just like the right here, like I mean by right I mean like the general right from things like publications like Bild and Bild and whatnot will just take the slop in every form and just force feed themselves all the American bullshit. Whatever is going on in the US, they will try to force that into Germany to like in like the laziest ways possible. So like, yeah, like, I mean, there is, I guess, a bit of a difference in the sense that then France
will resist American influence more. Germany views America, the German right
give
especially.
Me that slop, baby.
They view it very patriarchally or whatever, yeah.
You guys have wokeness over there?
Oh, of course we have wokeism.
It was a wokeismus. It was a German columnist who came up with the wonderful term "woko haram."
Like, to be fair.
Oh wow! Congrats! I've heard that.
Yeah,
congrats to Germany for that one.
He's very proud.
To my homie Ospashot, if you're out there listening to this episode, I miss you, bud. You never let me whip around in your Porsche with you, listening to Chief Keef like you said I could.
Yeah. He thought Nick was the streets on Twitter for a bit. And
he
became
thought it
friends
was really cool. He followed me for a bit, yeah.
Because a lot of reactionaries in Germany, he used to be a DJ in Berlin.
Yeah. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, his doctoral thesis was on.
Poshot shared with me his Spotify Wrapped one year. He like sent it to me. And he was like, bro, like, what did you get? And like, mine was all over the place. It was like, you know, a little bit of like, I don't know, like Future and like, you know, whatever, some like 8 death metal bands, whatever. And like, Ulf Postrup's number 1 was Drake.
Of course.
Which really just encapsulates the mindset.
This is the editor-in-chief of like the largest paper in this country.
King.
Oh my God. If time truly is a flat circle, the last time somebody came and made Germany great again, it was a déclassé down on his luck Viennese artist. You can only imagine if next time it's a down on their luck déclassé former Berlin DJ.
Yeah, he'll be Bavarian in origin. 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We don't pull from Austria anymore. They're rich now. They don't come here anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, they say, oh, if only Hitler had gone to art school, you guys need to create like a DJ academy now to like suck up all those impending fascist DJs.
No, that would be horrible.
We have to do it.
Oh,
Berlin DJ Academy. Come on, man.
Yeah,
that
it'd be worse
idea
if we did.
practically
that might
sells
be the
itself.
actually that's a great idea. That might be the straw that breaks the camel's back that then ruins all this stuff in Berlin that's so overplayed. Is if just like, oh my God, yeah, that'd be sick. All right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna fucking do it. We're gonna ruin.
We're gonna get some of that Coots money. We're gonna get an exclusive Coots account.
I'm gonna use all my
some
Coots
Brexit
coin.
NFTs, and we're gonna fundraise for the Berlin Ibiza DJ Academy.
That's
and we're
right,
gonna
baby.
Put it somewhere
And
cheap like Greece, so we can afford to run it.
And we're gonna kill techno in Berlin once and for all because it's a bit too like have you been noticing like lately that then
I live blissfully unaware.
I mean like going around town like the tourism's gotten like more on the nose like. Oh, I'm here to fucking go party. It's like it's always been that way, but like I feel that then it's gotten. Maybe I'm just a grumpy adult now, and I fucking hate it. But oh my God, I don't need
Welcome
to have
my
like,
world.
I don't need to be in the U-Bahn. Realize that then like 40% of the people in here are not from here, and just gonna be like, oh my God, like I'm 19, I can't even get into the clubs. So, but I'm gonna have my crazy Berlin week lives. Like, just stay in the Netherlands or in wherever the fuck that you're from. Just leave us alone. You know, this is all a fad because of TikTok to you. So just stay home.
The fish rots from the head. You're gonna have to go like get Sven from Berghain or something like that, and I don't know, get him to stand down. Stand down, sir. Stand down.
I'll gladly do that. You don't understand.
You've done enough, Sven.
You've done it. That's the thing that sucks too. Is that like I like clubs and stuff like that. It's just so unbearable now.
Yeah, there's a little there's a handful of people who make it their whole personality.
It's too much, and they're all Dutch or British or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they come here, and
they're all from Hessen. Freaks. I have freaks, every last one of them.
It's because they had too much cocaine in Frankfurt. Anyway,
and then they come to Berlin, and there's no coke here.
There isn't. We can't afford coke. It's all ketamine here.
The economy.
Thanks to CDU austerity.
Thanks
no
to
more
CDU
coke.
austerity. My friends and I can't do the lowest grade of coke in Europe.
Absolute trash coke. Sean, did you see the op-ed that Zizek wrote on the French riots?
Yeah, I did read it. What do you think?
I mean, of course, it's in the New Statesman. The New Statesman is classic. They had a piece recently about like against the 15-minute city by someone from like the Ford Institute.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
I don't see any conflict of interest there.
Yeah, not at all.
He means they mean Henry Ford III, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you know this, but they named the auditorium at the university that I went to, Freie Universität in Berlin. They named it after Henry Ford. Completely. They missed out the fact that he was a massive Nazi.
Yeah.
They're like, no. Whoa. It's not Henry Ford. It's Henry Ford III, as in his son.
The Henry Ford Institute for Advanced Anti-Semitism.
The Henry Ford Institute of Phrenology, yeah, baby.
The Henry Ford Institute for Advanced Pamphlet Distribution Techniques.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a weird article the article basically summarizes with the entire point of it. The rest of it is just kind of like leading up to this one tiny paragraph. He could have just like tweeted this out of like, yet if the left disregards public safety, it's conceding to the enemy an important domain of dissatisfaction that in a time of anarchy pushes people to the right. Everyday insecurity hurts the poor much more than the rich who live calmly in their gated communities. Which is...
So then, therefore, you should then give in and support the law and order that then is making your life worse. Like, Chijik's gotten really dumb lately.
There's three kind of like technical things that I fault.
He's also
on.
coming off of the last op-ed that I read from him was why NATO is good. So, like, really he's knocking it out of the park here.
Yeah. The most glaring thing from this article that I saw was trying to connect the little weird mutiny they had, the Wagner mutiny with the riots in France, as though those two things can be comparable. It's like apples and oranges.
Yeah, so that was like the kind of like the three technical faults I get him on of like, this is like such nitpicky shit and not like, grand theory of like disputing his point. But like, yeah, I don't really see the like, he's trying to make this point that they're connected because like, oh, look, various states are falling apart. But like, France has been down this road before in a way that didn't result in their collapse. Like the 2005 riots in the banlieues in France were much bigger than this. And like, I hope it gets bigger in France, but like every time something similar to like Prigozhin's thing has happened in Russia, it did genuinely herald change. Like fucking, watch a guy taking the fucking tank to parliament in the 90s or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The drunk. Forgotten his name.
Yeltsin. Yeah.
I also too forgot. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some.
The guy with the tank.
The drunk. I like that.
Yeah. That one drunk.
The drunk
Russian
with the tank.
guy,
The drunk
yeah.
tank.
The only drunk Russian person ever.
Yeah. Everyone else in Russia is, stone sober.
Yeah. Teetotalers. The other technical points were just like, the smaller one of like gated communities don't really exist as much in France. Like the French rich really love living in central Paris.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like, they're in the
true,
thick of
yeah.
it.
They live in like Gobelin or some shit like that.
Yeah. Like there's fancier neighborhoods or whatever, but like the riots are definitely like in their vicinity.
Yeah. I mean, Zizek's also writing for an Anglo audience.
Yeah. And then the third point is like he describes Macron as a technocrat, which like he's a terrible person, but he has passion. Like he believes in things that are just kind of like not like.
I mean, like I would say that then like Macron is kind of just like the most.
Like you compare him to
he is the most stereotypical like technocratic leader in Europe, but that doesn't necessarily. I mean, like.
What is Macron passionate about, right? Whenever you bring up Macron, it's like from his Jupiterian heights, he like decrees down onto the public. I guess he's passionate about green technology or no?
The big one for him that like makes him different from a lot of people around him is, or not all people around him, but like it's just in the water in France. He's a Gaullist. He kind of like believes in this like united Europe and like his like long peace talks thing, like phone calls he did with Putin.
He's like a De Gaulle adequate for like the dying neoliberal era, basically.
Yeah, he's more akin to, I think, like maybe Tony Blair than he is to like one of the faceless people they put in charge of Italy.
Yeah, but I think in the sense that Macron, the reality of Macron is actually much more in the sense that he is a faceless technocrat that could be replaced with anyone in his party, and that's why he replaces everyone in his own party continuously, because he realizes he's fucking useless. Anyone could do Macron's position in his made-up ass party, and Macron, I think, as a somewhat intelligent person who has a massive identity crisis because, again, he thinks that he has a personality similar to Trump or something like that, but he's horribly uninteresting. No one in France gives two shits about what Macron does, says, or whatever, and he thinks that then people do.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is that then the French people, you could have any fuck in there who's from his party in his position. The only thing is that then Macron himself believes his shit and no one else around him does. That his Jupiterian God complex that he has, his European federalism stuff could be done by anyone,
It is kind of true. Like, it's technocrat, I think maybe it's a little bit of a quibble, but he's not like a Mario Draghi type, right?
Yeah,
like Mario
yeah,
Draghi in Italy is put in there as like a placeholder for like the banking system of Europe, essentially. And he's like this sort of bloodless freak who just sort of like goes about trying to, do just as little austerity as possible to like, get the bonds sold. I think Macron definitely claims to be more of a politician in the mode of de Gaulle, in that like French greatness is kind of like his mission in a moment when French greatness is kind of impossible. I mean, maybe if Germany, if you guys get bad enough, French greatness will come
we're
back,
on our way.
They're losing West Africa. They've had this like semi-colony for 60 years and they're in the process of losing it.
Yeah, they're fucking up. Like I think there's just something about Macron that just like, he's definitely got this vibe of like, he thinks he's better than he is.
Yeah.
100% sure. And like,
He doesn't have the charisma to back it up, though, which is what I'm saying. Is that
so actually, this was something that like, I think is very like Anglo press versus like how the French think of him.
Yeah.
Which is, I remember these Vox Pops they did at either the last French election, either like a Le Pen rally or a Zemmour rally, one of the like far right characters in the mix. And they were asking people about Macron and what they thought of him because he's trying to get reelected. And like, I think the impression that we have of like in the English speaking world of like the French right was like, oh, they'll probably think of him like the American right thought of Obama, like he's a secret communist, blah, blah, blah. But like they were all just like, oh yeah, no, he's right wing. He's just not right wing enough.
Yeah.
Like they kind of do think he has like some kind of Christian Democrat kind of credentials or whatever, center right.
If he was passionate about one thing, it was fucking pension reform, right? Raising the fucking retirement
right,
age of French workers, and he jammed that down everybody's throat.
It
and
destroyed
it was
the
the one
last
thing that he really stood for,
Yeah, I mean, he really is. The only thing I guess that he's like really passionate about is just like the most like outdated neoliberal reforms that just like can't exist in a like modern world. He's
a true believer of neoliberalism.
30 years ago, he might have been able to like riding the wave of like neoliberal reforms. He may have been able to push through like his real loving heart projects, but it's kind of like the end of that era right now.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the thing that's why I think you see this trend of people like Orban and whatnot that are popping up, more and more within the right that are like nationalists, but also like in terms of like social policy, like not neoliberal. You can't.
They're natalists. They believe in price controls. They believe in some form of protectionism. They're willing to make like alliances with the Putins of the world, as opposed to like calling in this sort of neoconservative way for like the rise of freedom across whatever. Yeah,
where like Macron can like do part of that. I think Macron's been like the thing that then's actually quite interesting is that then France's relations with China have actually improved under him, theoretically, because he's doing the classic Gaullist French thing, which is trying to basically leverage power within the European Union as it is now, or like the economic community as it was under de Gaulle, in order to like carve out a special place for France within the world system where France can act relatively autonomously in foreign policy and also retain, what's left of the French economy versus like German imperialism, basically.
This is just harkening back to the dumbest post I ever made, which is the handshaking meme, where one arm was labeled China's multipolar world, the other arm was labeled Gaullism, and in the middle it was France has nukes and should run Europe.
I agree. Yeah,
I like that post. I want to find it and retweet it.
It's lost the sands of time.
Wow. R.I.P.
We ordered some food and it's arrived, and we're just kind of.
Oh, wonderful! What'd you guys get?
Got some Korean fried chicken.
Nice. You guys got that over there. That's a tasty.
Oh, absolutely.
Tasty treat.
The new Korean media wave has spread all over the world.
Wow. First K-pop and then Korean fried chicken. That's pretty good. You guys just get some Mexican food over there and you'll actually have a civilization.
There is one decent Mexican place because it is run by Californians.
Which one?
Dolores.
Oh, that place is okay. Yeah. There's actually like 3 or 4 decent Mexican places now.
That's the only way that like the new world can raise you to the level of civilization. Is
I
if you were
agree.
to-
I fully support this.
I from someone from Ireland and lived in the UK, I see your Mexican food and raise you really good Indian food all the time.
Oh
That's fair,
yeah,
yeah,
well,
that's
I have
fair.
someone who's had Indian food in America and someone who's had Indian food in London. They fucking slay it over there, man. We don't have
Yeah.
anything close to that here.
So
in the United
good.
States, so.
I miss it so much. It's really sickly sweet here in Germany.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
I don't.
Sweet
I've never
Indian.
had good Indian food. I know for a fact that this is not it. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that then Mexican food from my neck of the woods slaps really fucking hard.
In
So,
Arizona?
in Arizona, it
Yeah, yeah,
rips.
absolutely.
Oh,
It-
hell yeah.
It rips so hard. I think
That's
that
Tex-Mex, right?
Yeah, no, it's just Mexican food. It's like Tex-Mex is more New Mexico and Texas and whatnot.
Where are you from in Arizona?
Phoenix.
Oh no shit. My mother retired down to outside of Albuquerque. I know that's not even the same state.
Oh
but,
no,
like,
but
I love
it's
the
this,
Southwest.
It's this. It was the same territory at one point.
But
so-
isn't a lot of aren't a lot of Californians also retiring to like
Oh, don't
Santa
even fucking
Fe and
talk.
stuff?
No, they're all moving to Phoenix and they're driving prices up on everything.
Yeah.
Well, Phoenix is like literally running out of water now.
Yeah,
so
it is. Yeah,
That should put a little kink in the housing market.
yeah. Oh yeah. And the thing I found out too recently is that Arizona sells a bunch of water to Saudi Arabia.
That's so funny. You told me that.
Yeah, it is
That rules.
insane. That fucking sucks.
Just for like the worst water park in
Yeah.
fucking Riyadh. Yeah, absolutely.
The Neom
pure-
water
yeah,
park.
with that- with
it's just
that
one
pure-
straight line. It's just one slide that goes for hundreds of miles.
It's so
You
good.
can't get off.
I need to.
You're committing for like 6 hours.
So
And then like Mohammed bin Salman's just like telling you it's the best idea for what. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
what if there was a water slide that just never ended?
what if there was a water slide that you can do your entire mandatory education while on it?
Oh, agree. Yeah. Oh goodness.
So Zizek, right? We were talking Zizek.
Yeah, Zizek's piece,
and
yeah.
its piece. So like we can quibble, I guess, about whether calling Macron a technocrat is correct or not. I don't think that like
No.
dooms his piece or not. But what
Oh,
were the other?
His main point is that like the left kind of needs to care about like law and order, so that we can so that people don't vote for the right over time, basically.
What? I don't get that point still though. That's the hard.
He believes the riots are making people like Jean Messiha, the like guy who does the fundraiser for the cops family. Like they are birthing people like him. And
If Zizek wants the left, whatever the fuck that means, I guess the people who read the New Statesman or like us, I don't know who that. If he wants the left to more assiduously and effectively manage like the decline of this mode of production and ensure that like as the social decay and the social rot of this dying empire is like socially managed in such a way through police and through prisons and social workers, if he thinks that that's what our goal should be, and that people should be running for elected office on like I don't know, like beating up the Moors in the banlieues and like having enough prisons to make sure that anybody who forgets their driver's license is either shot or incarcerated. If that's what Zizek truly believes that we should be working on right now, then okay, fine, that's all well and good. But reading this piece, you would have thought that like I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago or so, like the other great insurrectionary moment against Macron never happened, which was the Yellow Vest movement.
Yeah.
Which, like, yes, people will quibble or people can argue about whether it was like a leftist movement. People can argue about whether it was like fully taken over by the right or whether there was any potential social change that could have come out of that particular thing. But it was an economic struggle. And it was one that relied on, if not rioting, certainly like blocking public passage, going up against the cops and fighting the cops. And I think there's reason to actually be interested in and validate a lot of what the Yellow Vest movement did. But that's not, but Zizek, by not including that, makes it seem as though like law and order and this sort of sense of carceral justice is always the the take that we should be having, or like the policies that we should be shooting for. But those same cops who were in the banlieue, like calling for insurrection against the state and beating up these protesters and rioters, were the ones that were out in the circles and beating up the yellow vest protesters just some years ago.
Yeah, I think it's just, I mean, one, it kind of comes off that Zizek, this isn't the first time he's done it, like just doesn't do his basic research before, spilling out just one of the most idiotic opinions that you'll read. But also too, like, I do feel that then more and more, and this, I mean, this isn't just a dig at him, but just like in the sense that I feel that then France is a really, like, the Yellow Vest protest is the perfect example of that. Like, working class protests look like that. They're not, this like, Zizek falls into the category of what I would say that then like a lot of German activist groups fall into, where they will continuously split themselves into 1,000 ways, whatever, because they don't want to work with, someone that may have used a word that they don't like or something like that, or because the reality of it is that then that is like a broader working class movement is you realizing that then that the working class is not a bunch of activists that,
or saints for that matter.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that then that Die Linke has this problem just in general as a party currently in Germany, because a lot of their membership is either too academic, like they literally went door to door being like, "Good day, sir. Are you a member of the precariat?"
We hear from the Rosa Luxemburg Stiftung. Have
it's
some
like
interesting theories for you.
And it's like the thing of it is that like the thing that France, I feel, not that like the French left is doing super well or whatever, but at least in the sense of like workers' movements in France clearly have picked up. I think that then that the level of solidarity that you see in France, depending on what the issue is quite impressive for a Western European country. And every leftist is going to want to go and nitpick at it and be like, oh, well, that's not my thing that then I would want. And Zizek sees these riots, which rioting is a completely legitimate form of political action, and is like, well, it's messy, I don't like it. And it's like, well, like it or not, you should at least support then the action behind it, not go and be like, well, the left needs to find their Richard Nixon. Like what kind of like, that's just a childish.
We need left Macron.
Yeah.
It's like Macron will stand on law and order.
And it's just like the sense
what
of
an
that,
election that would be.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's just that it literally is just the political compass where it's Macron, only Macron's yeah. Where it's like one of them is like,
so
read Capital or whatever.
Yeah, I think young
and
people
hiding
should read
behind
Marx.
it is a De Gaulle. Yeah. Like pulling the compass away and peering out from
And the
behind
thing
it.
is that like if you speak to like any French leftist worth their weight in water, will then tell you that then things like the Yellow Vest movement, while not perfect, is still a working class movement.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, whatever. Oh, they might be racist, this and that and that. It's like, well, sure, fine. There's also people who are like Algerian marching right next to them too. There's also people who are like, from Mélenchon's party who are marching alongside people from Front National. It's like, unfortunately, in this current political climate, this is what a working class movement is looking like. Now you can at least like go and try to like, offer up the olive branch to the people who are worth it. I'm not saying, it's not, you don't have to go talk to the actual fucking like, I want to reunite Vichy France sort of person.
Yeah, no,
but
there's like the Front National people, and those people can be safely put off to one side, and maybe we make bad things happen to them, and that's fine. But then, there's like the much larger and contradictory and complex working class, which is the majority of French society.
Yeah.
There's all this hand wringing, happening, at least in like the English language press, which we've been reading over here, where it's like, well, we built all these immigrants nice libraries, and we built them bike lanes, and we made them parks, and like, but then still we have all this social ferment and these riots. I pretty sure the issue here is not enough cops in France. It's not even not enough bike lanes in the banlieue or whatever. The problem is, without being too reductive, the economy. It's the fact that like there's been a failure to integrate this lower section, this immigrant proletarian section of the working class into the rest of French society, because the fundamental issue is there's not enough jobs to integrate those people into society. And so now you'd have to look at a politics that wasn't like a left Macron law and orderism, but something, if you're going to be a reformist, that looks more like Mitterrand in the 1980s. You have to start looking at industrial policy. You need to start like questioning, why is it that all of these industrial jobs, which was able to integrate various different sections of the working class in France together, why have those disappeared now? And how does that end up leaving tens of millions of French people behind, whether they're immigrants or not? But this is not a question that Macron wants to ask. It's not a question that they ask in the New York Times or in the Bild. But it's disappointing that it's not even a question that Slavoj Žižek wants to pose, right? He wants this to be about, he wants to isolate this issue of law and order. And in an abstract sense, he's very right. You know, like, of course, the effects of crime, the effects of social decay land more on the poor than they do the rich. The rich, you know, can always fly away to Fiji or whatever when they want to get away from it. But by isolating this in this sense and turning this sort of necessity for there to be social order under any type of political system, any type of society, turning this into a virtue, I think really completely misses the points of what the riots are all about.
Yeah. And it really, I mean, at least from my perspective, it really just kind of seems like, in the sense that then I don't think he would, I mean, he didn't write the same op-ed a couple months ago when there were riots happening in France with, you know,
pension reform.
You know, it's like,
right.
there is a bit of something else that then is here that then I feel that is Zizek's writing.
It's suspect.
Yeah, you know, I'm not
Very
gonna.
suspect.
There's also, I think, a huge assumption that's been made, which is those who riot or protest at this moment are the left, when a lot of them are just people in France who live in the banlieues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're 17-year-olds
Exactly.
without social prospects. This isn't the left per se.
Yeah, there's a lot of people marching who just like who live in the suburbs of France who at most times would probably vote for something like Les Républicains.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
just
like,
don't want to see a
dude.
17-year-old
Where was
killed.
your op-ed though, in the sense where they were like literally doing similar tactics a couple months ago?
Yeah,
Like,
Dude,
I mean,
I don't understand, like, all these, we've been talking through this episode, all these Americanisms are spreading all over the place. If there's one thing that America can teach you about law and order, is that when you create a huge carceral state, when you use police solutions for poverty and you know, the depravity of working class life in a society, those very same police, that very same carceral system will be used for all sorts of other things. If you look at France and their majestic history of direct action and industrial action, you know, if you're calling for more law and order, then that's also going to pertain to blocking the fucking oil refineries during a protest against the retirement age being raised. It's going, you know, the French working class, the industrial working class still has the ability and the tradition where when they get laid off because a factory is shutting down, they occupy the factory, grab a bunch of dynamite and like kidnap the boss and threaten to blow the thing sky high unless they get like massive severance packages. Law and order in that instance is like, you really want to bring more cops into that situation. Like, we want to actually uphold these aspects of social struggle.
I mean, if we're just listing off our favorite various actions that the French have taken over the years, it was the pension reforms protests where like the power companies started turning off power to various like Macron party official houses and stuff. It was like, you don't have power anymore. That was
Zizek, his selective take on this really opens him up to the accusation that he's racist. You know, and that's not
100%.
something that I like throw around all the time, but like he's just going face first into this brick wall.
I think he's also made some comments about like protests that occurred recently in like Czech Republic and Slovakia over they were like farmers protests because Ukrainian grain, which we've now started bringing into the EU out of like solidarity or something.
Poland as well, there have been protests.
Yeah,
In
like
Romania, there's been protests about the Ukrainian grain.
Yeah, lowering like the prices for the like our own farmers or whatever. I think he made some very favorable comments about those like protests, even though they were, I think, kind of reactionary and also like very white. because they're not, they're not farm laborers, they're farm owners. They're giant landlords.
Like what happened in the Netherlands when they tried to pass those carbon and nitrogen laws, right?
The Dutch ones were particularly theatrical, but
they were like throwing shit at the cops and stuff.
Manure,
like that.
absolutely, yeah.
They were like blocking the major highways with their tractors.
Northern Italy did that as well.
Yeah. This is a thing that then always kind of sucks with Zizek to me, is that then there are like I mean, he is still part, like, I'm not gonna, he's not a leftist. He's very much part of the political left. Like, I think he very much is like a Marxist in his thought process and all that. It just makes it very upsetting for someone that then is like, I mean, not that I like particularly like, like or love him, but in the fact that then he's a very accessible Marxist, that then I know for a fact that then I have used Zizek as someone for people who were like on that like Jordan Peterson thing for a while to kind of like get them away from Peterson.
Well, the debate they had is probably a pretty good
not
one.
even just that, but in the sense that he's very like he has a personality.
He's a bit clownish, but he's charismatic as hell in his own way.
And then just in the sense that it's like there's a lot of good shit that he has said in the past, and that this is why I don't, again, like I said, I don't want to throw out the accusation that then he is racist, but it's like, bro, like, where's your
look? It's possible, whether he admits it or not, that racism is a component of this. I mean, let's not put it past a 70-year-old man from Slovakia.
For sure.
But it also, without knowing that, we're not out here to cancel.
No,
right?
Absolutely not. It just it's upsetting to see that then that the like Law and Order thing, this and that, it's just like, dude,
he's the fundamental fact is, and what we should be looking at in this is not this individual take, but like his series of various different good, mediocre, and bad takes that he's had over the last like 5, 10, 15 years or whatever, and call him what he is, which is that, okay, he's a Marxist, but he's an academic and he's a media figure. And he has, for I'm sure his own personal reasons, given his background and what he's seen in his life, given up fundamentally on the idea of revolution. And so therefore what he's doing in this Law and Order article is A, he's trying to have a hot take so people will talk about him. B, he's trying to get paid, and, everybody has to do that, fine. But C, he's also moved into a realm of his life and his politics and his analysis where he's more about, instead of like an imminent critique of capitalist society and understanding how we move past it, again, he's gotten into this spot where he's bringing up ways that we can manage capitalist decline and manage people, manage the working class, right? That's what this Law and Order shit about, is how do we most effectively manage the working classes of the various societies of Europe. And that, in my mind, is, I guess, if you're an academic Marxist and that's how you want to make your buck and stay in the limelight, that's fine. But what separates us from him, hopefully, and I mean us in a broader sense, is that we're not interested in merely managing the decline of French society.
Yeah.
Right?
I just the other bit of context is like everyone else who was his contemporary at like Mladina, the youth party, the youth party of like communist Slovenia that he used to write for. Everyone else.
The one that also, what's his name, was a member of too.
Yansha.
Yansha. Yeah.
Everyone else that came from that publication like went a lot further right wing and kind of insane. Like the kind of like Orbanist prime minister of Slovenia also came from the same publication and was a contemporary of like Slavoj. It gets a lot weirder. It's just most of them are still speaking Slovenian.
I mean, he's, for the Slovenian boomer communist, post-communist, he's doing pretty all right. Let's not like throw him to the wolves. But I think that you can see how this particular take comes about from his very particular position he has within media and academia and everything.
Right. I think with all of that, that's been your weekly Corner Späti. Sean, thank you so much for coming on.
This was a lot of fun. I've come back anytime if you'd have me.
Absolutely, yeah. We're happy to inform you. I think next time we should probably inform you of sillier things.
It hasn't been very silly.
I love talking this shit. No, it's fun.
It hasn't been a silly week. That's the unfortunate thing.
Yeah. We were kind of hoping that we'd have some silly episodes because like last week we had to do Prigozhin's weird coup attempt and the reason the riot started. And that's 2 bummer episodes kind of in a row. So the Prigozhin thing was kind of funny. It was just a lot to deal with. Anyway.
Well, maybe another 5 billionaires will go down in a submarine and implode themselves again, and then you could have me on. We could laugh at them.
We should do an episode on that Danish millionaire who like trapped people in his personal submarine in Copenhagen. Yeah. This was years ago. He would just like hit on women by bringing them into the submarine. And
that's horrible.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Then he like tried to escape from prison with a gun. It's the whole thing.
That's how I would escape from a prison, is with a gun.
You definitely don't want to do it without a gun.
Yeah.
First step in prison, get a gun.
Yeah.
Find the biggest gun and punch it directly in the face. Yeah, strongly recommend Antifada. I've been really enjoying the Diving into the Wreckage series.
Can we legally say that in Germany?
Yes.
Diving into the wreckage, you're allowed to say?
No.
Antifada.
Strongly recommend Antifada.
Strongly recommend resistance to the Israeli occupation of Palestine. Shout out this week. Yeah, so go listen to that. Go check out Sean and Varn talk about the world and political economy. It's very enjoyable.
It'll be somehow even more dour than this conversation that we had.
I've been binging the episodes because I was a bit behind. I don't recommend that. Pace yourself.
You don't want to take that in all at once, right?
Yeah, put out a silly comedy podcast in between the two of them or something.
Yeah. You should have Varn on. That'd be fun. You can probably draw out some humor and whatever.
Oh, God,
he has a sense of humor too. That'd be fun to
I get
listen to.
I get the impression you can really wind him up and he just goes. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be interested in having him on for sure. All right. Well, thank you very much. Go check out Antifada, and we will catch you next week. Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.